Welcome everybody to some more Modern Warfare 2. Today I feel like talking about Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the next Call of Duty that's going to be coming out this year. We're right around the corner from getting some multiplayer gameplay for the first time, and I'm very excited. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what they have to offer this year, because multiplayer for Call of Duty has really been lacking over the last few years. And specifically about multiplayer, I want to talk about the things that I want to see, the features that I want this year's Call of Duty to have in the multiplayer side, and I do feel like us as the Call of Duty community really do know what's best for this game, and hopefully if someone from Activision, well, not Activision, Infinity Ward, because you already know Activision, they don't give a fuck about making a good game, but hopefully someone from Infinity Ward can see this video or anybody's video from the Call of Duty community talking about what we want in the next Call of Duty. I really want this multiplayer to be as fantastic as possible and live up to its full potential. I have a list right next to me of 5 quick things that I wrote down that I want to see in the next Call of Duty, and I'm hoping that when we do get gameplay, we are going to see these things, but of course we'll just have to wait and see. So to get to the list, the first thing that I want to see when the multiplayer comes out, when the full game is released, is I want there to be content at launch. I don't want it to be lacking in content. This is going to tie into some of the points that I'm going to be making later on in this video as well, but the main thing that I want is that I want the game to be completed. I don't want it to feel like a beta and then 6 months down the road actually be a completed game. I want the game to be completed at launch and not be lacking in content like Call of Duty Black Ops 4 was. A month into Black Ops 4, it was already stale, it was already boring, and I can't believe that I played that game for as long as I did. I didn't even play the game that much. I played it for a good few months and then I decided to quit, but I can't believe that I played it that long considering how boring the game was, and I don't want that to be the same case with this game. I want there to be enough content at launch that it's going to last us for at least a month, at least until the next big update. And tying into content at launch, it also has to be quality content, which ties into my next point and the next thing that I want to see in this upcoming Call of Duty title, and that is good maps. You can have a lot of content, but there's no point in having quantity over quality, and part of that content is the maps. I want there to be a decent amount of maps at launch, and I also want there to be quality maps. I don't want them to be the standard 3-lane design that we've seen in Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Oh my god, that was extremely boring. Every single map was essentially the same, and they need some sort of variety in the maps. Look at this map, for example, that I'm playing right now. High Rise. This map has high points, low points. It has a bunch of different lanes. It looks like a 3-lane map, but there's also underground passages that you can go through. This map has personality. It has an interesting design and a unique flow to it. On Call of Duty Black Ops 4, if you know one map, you pretty much know all of them, because all of them are 3-lane boring maps. There is no diversification whatsoever, and I want the next Call of Duty to have some sort of uniqueness to the maps. They can't just be all the same, or else the game is going to be stale and every single match is going to feel like the exact same experience. And with diversification of maps, you also get diversification of playstyles. People can play different weapons. You can play shotguns on maps that are smaller. You can play submachine guns that are slightly bigger than smaller maps. You can play assault rifles on average sized maps. You can play snipers on really long range maps. With diversification of maps, you get diversification of playstyles, which is exactly what we need, because the reason why Call of Duty is so stale is because maps are just so similar. They're just this basic design, and with a basic design comes basic playstyles. You can pretty much only play with one playstyle on Call of Duty Black Ops 4, and that is running around like a chicken with your head cut off. Also, the maps in Call of Duty Black Ops 4, because they are so similar, it adds an element of RNG, which is something that we don't want. You never want to die and feel like you couldn't do anything in a situation. But anyway, I'm spending a lot of time on this point. On to the next point, and that is free DLC and frequent updates. This goes hand in hand with content, but this is post-launch content. This isn't content at launch. You have to have a nice amount of content at launch, but it doesn't matter how good the content at launch is. In this day and age with gaming, you have to have frequent updates on your game. And on top of that content, the DLC has to be free, which they've already confirmed that the DLC is going to be free, and I hope that there is no catch with that. I hope that the DLC is fully free. And on top of that, I don't want just the maps to be free. I want all DLC to be free, and that includes weapons. I don't want them to sneak weapons into the loot boxes, which you already know there are going to be loot boxes in the game, but I want the loot boxes to be cosmetic only, and we've said this for the past like 6 years, and it's never happened. Every single year, there are game-changing weapons in the loot boxes, and I want this year to finally be the change, because I really do feel that loot boxes are just an old style of monetization, and they have to either be cosmetic only, or if you are going to put weapons in the loot boxes, you have to have a very, very fair way of obtaining those weapons outside of loot boxes. Not like Call of Duty Black Ops 4, where you have to rely solely on loot boxes to get them. Ideally, there are going to be no weapons in loot boxes. They should be free to everybody as soon as they come out, part of the DLC updates that we get that are going to be frequent in the game. I'm going to have a very, very low threshold with this Call of Duty. If the game isn't decent, I'm not going to play it. But anyway, on to the next thing that I want to see from this title, and that is a reason to play. And this is very general. This could mean a lot of things, but I want there to be a reason we play the game, that we get on and we actually play. I can't feel like recently, in the last few years on Call of Duty, there's not really a reason to play. You hop on, you play matches, and that's pretty much it. There's not much progression. There's not achievements you can really go out for that reward you. I want there to be contracts at launch. I want there to be daily challenges, weekly challenges immediately from launch. There has to be an incentive to actually log on to Call of Duty and play it, because people don't want to play Call of Duty just for the matches. They want to play Call of Duty for the progression system. That's something that made Call of Duty stand out in the earlier days. It had a satisfying progression system that is just non-existent these days. And dark matter, or the equivalent of dark matter, isn't enough. That is not enough. Once people obtain dark matter, that's it. We need something else to work towards. Leveling up, prestiging, unlocking weapons simply isn't enough. There has to be a new style of progression system that gives people motivation to log on and play the game, or else the game is going to die a month from its launch. And the final point that I want to make, and I want to keep this video brief, but last but not least, a fair monetization system. If you're going to have loot boxes, make sure they are cosmetic only. DLC should be free. All DLC. DLC weapons should be 100% free. All content should be free, maps included, and I know that they are going to be including maps in the free DLC, which I'm very happy to hear, but everything else needs to be free as well. All content updates that are not cosmetic should be 100% free to everybody. We pay $60 for this game. There is no reason why it should have paid DLC under any circumstances. You have a game like Apex Legends that is completely free to play, that releases quality content updates for free. There is no reason why a multi-billion-dollar company like Activision, like Treyarch, like Infinity Ward, like Sledgehammer Games shouldn't be able to supply free content updates in a fair, monetizing fashion. Call of Duty Black Ops 4 is riddled with the most unfair monetization system we have ever seen in gaming, period. Not even in the franchise, just in gaming. And if Call of Duty Modern Warfare goes down that same road, this game is going to die, and I am not going to play it. A month into the game's life cycle, I don't care if I spent $60 at launch to get the game. I'm not going to play it if the game has a terrible monetization system. The only monetization system that I would be okay with seeing in the game is a cosmetic only loot box system, if you have to have loot boxes in there, and that is it. But anyway, guys, that has been everything that I want to see from Call of Duty Modern Warfare's multiplayer. Of course, there are more things. These things alone aren't going to make the multiplayer fantastic and memorable and actually keep it playable for the foreseeable future. However, these are definitely some good guidelines, and I hope that they follow these, because if they don't, then this game is going to suffer and it's going to die very quickly. But anyway, I want to keep this video brief. I'm going to wrap it up here. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much the end of the video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you smack the like button. If you want to stay up to date with my content, please be sure to subscribe. I'll have my last video in the corner. If you haven't checked that out already, definitely make sure to check it out. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.